Here's a sort of a long story I'll tell you. Once there was a young, this is the days of the Rebbe, the Ruzhiner Rebbe, Heloi Rav Yisrael Miruzhin. There was in his town in Ruzhin, there was a young boy, a Goyish boy, and he used to work for a Jew. The boy was like an orphan from his father. His father passed away. He had other brothers also, other children. In any case, his father passed away, and his other brothers, I guess, they left the house. And he had to support his mother. So he used to work in the soap factory. There was a Jew that owned a soap factory, and he gave this boy work. And he was very nice to this young boy. He realized that his situation was very bad, so he would slip him some money on the side a little bit, and whenever necessary, he would let him sleep in this. Anyway, his mother got remarried, and she married this man that already had 2 sons, and the man was very cruel. And for entertainment, this man would have his sons beat up on this boy, on this Goyish boy. His mother was a weak lady. She tried to stop, but she didn't know what to do. And so they would beat him up, and he would run away, and sometimes he would sleep in the soap factory. Anyway, one day they gave him such a terrible beating, and he saw that his mother was suffering from such a terrible thing that was happening. And he was just out of his mind. His father had passed away. That was a tremendous shock to him. And these boys were beating him up all the time. And his mother, she was also suffering. She didn't know what to do. So he just was crazy. And he went in the nighttime, he had a key to the soap factory. He went into the soap factory, and Hashem Yishmor, he climbed up. There was this big vat where they would boil all the fat and things like that. They would boil all the fat, and from that, I guess soap, to make soap, you have to have animal fat and other things. There was a huge, big vat, and he climbed up on a beam that was right over this, and Hashem Yishmor, he hung himself. The owner of the store, of the factory, came in the morning, and he saw this boy was dead, was hanging. He didn't know what to do, but he knew this meant trouble. He knew it meant trouble. He knew that they would try to pin it on him. So he tried to take this boy off. He didn't know how to do it exactly. He was hanging. So he managed to get up on the beam, and somehow or other the knot came loose. The boy fell into the vat, this boiling vat, and boiled. And it was tremendously hot. It melted melted everything. No, so he said, the owner, the Jew, said, okay, it was terrible, it was shocking, it was a tragedy, but now the evidence is gone, and maybe now they won't pin it on me. But it didn't work. A neighbor happened to be that he saw the boy entering the place, and didn't see him come out. And they started saying it must have been the Jew did it, because it was already a couple days afterwards, right? A couple days after, they didn't know when it happened. They searched and they searched and they searched to find the neighbor said they saw the boy go in. Nobody saw him come out. They're searching around. Anyway, they pinned it on the Jew. Maybe they found something of the boy there. It could be they found his shoe or something. Anyway, the Jew killed him. They put the poor Jew in prison, and he was awaiting trial. What's he going to do? So he posted bond, tremendous amount of bond, and they put guards around the Jew, his family, his house. that if he ran away, they would put his family in jail. And he went to to lawyers to try to find a lawyer. But no lawyer wanted to take his case. And there was evidence the boy went there. And not only that, the father was starting to yell and scream that, yes, the boy came back every night and he told us how this Jew used to beat him up and how he mistreated him. And it was terrible. And the sons also said, yes, he told us also. He confided in us. We loved him so much. He was our friend. And he was such a sweet boy. And this Jew used to misuse him and used to steal his money and used to tell him. They got the priest in the whole thing also. Yes, it's known the Jews always used to do this. And so, of course, no lawyer wanted to take the case, even to say a good word about him. So this poor Jew didn't know what to do. After he wandered around for one full day, he realized that no lawyer was going to defend him. So somebody said, why don't you go to Rabbi Yisrael of Ruzhin? Maybe he'll help you. So he went to the Rebbe. The Rebbe put his head down. And the Rebbe said, I'll come to court. I'll defend you. I'll defend you. So they went to court. And comes in the Rebbe. And he's a Jew, payas. And he's got a big hat, a long coat. He's got a cane, with a golden top, or whatever, silver top. I was looking at this. Who is this? It's my lawyer. What type of a lawyer is this? You have degrees, you have papers, you have what? You came from university. What type of a lawyer? And this Rebbe of Ruzhin, he could barely speak whatever it is, Ukrainish or whatever the language, I guess Ukraine. So comes up, witness after witness comes against this poor Jew. And the father of the stepfather comes up and he says, yes, he used to tell us how this Jew used to beat him up and he would torture him and he would do terrible things to him and he used to run home and I was his only comfort. And the two brothers said, his two stepbrothers said, yes, he was such a wonderful boy and he would save us. There was nothing to save him from the Jew. We were even considering going and beating the Jew up ourselves. But he was so nice, our brother, and the whole thing was made up. Then the priest gets up and he said, it's known that this is what the Jews do, and I always suspected this man, and the boy came to me and he told me how he was beaten, and so the crowd is like hissing, like, wow, just. And so the Rebbe, they say, okay, that's the prosecution. Now let's hear the defense. So the Rebbe of Ruzhin stands up and he says, all these people have been lying. Every word is a lie. And their lawyer on the other side, has you got any proof? He says, listen, an outright lie, and I'll prove it. The fact of the matter is the boy is not even dead. He's still alive. The boy that you say is dead, he's still alive. And if anybody tortured him, it's these people tortured him. And to prove it, watch. All of a sudden the doors open up and the boy comes in. The boy comes in. And he stands in front of them and he says, Your Honor, it's this my stepfather. He used to beat me up. He and his two sons, right? They used to beat me up and kill me. You don't know how many times I wanted to, and I never spoke to this priest. My only friend in the world was this Jew. He's not even of our people. And he treated me like a son. If anyone's to blame, it's them. When they heard this, they jumped from their seats, and they grabbed a hold of this boy, and they beat him, and they killed him. They killed him in front of the judge. And the judge said, stop it, stop beating him. And they were hitting him, beating him, and choking him. And the judge said, get the police. The police, it was hard. The police couldn't even get him up. They took the father and the two sons, they took him and put him in jail. And the boy, they buried. So afterwards, the Jew came to the Rebbe of Ruzhin. Afterwards, he was crying from happiness. The Rebbe of Ruzhin said, don't talk to me now. Come tomorrow. He said to me, listen, you saved my life. How could it be? I mean, that boy was dead. I know he was dead. Right? He hung himself. I saw him. He was dead. He fell into the pot of this. He was boiled totally. So he said, well, I made what's called a kol v'chomer. Said, I figured if the Baal Shem Tov could do it, a much greater miracle, then, and I'm a follower of the Baal Shem Tov, maybe I can do this small miracle. What was the bigger miracle of the Baal Shem Tov? Said, I'll tell you. Said, once there was a landowner. This is the miracle the Baal Shem Tov did, and this is the story that the Rebbe Ruzhin is telling this man. Once there was a rich landowner. This rich landowner owned thousands and thousands of acres of land. And one after another, he had managers that cheated him, that lied to him. And there happened to be a Jew that lived in one of these places. He had an inn, a tavern. And he asked the Jew if the Jew wants to be his manager until he finds somebody better. So the Jew said, all right. And he started to be a manager, and he was very good. And he worked very well, and he really got along with this Gentile landowner, got along very well. And everybody liked him. All the workers that were there in the place really started to succeed. And he became very popular with everyone. It was wonderful. And the owner, he was already an older man. In those days, I don't know, 50s, 60s, whatever, that was old. So he told the Jew, he said, listen, my friend, I'm getting old. And I want to have a good time before I die. And so I'm going to France. I have some friends over there in France. I'm going to go and spend some time with them. Could be I'm not going to come back. Maybe, yeah. But if I don't come back and you find that I've died, I want you to take over all the lands. Everything belongs to you. And I didn't write you up a deed. I forgot about it, but I'll send you something from there. A deed that I agree that you can be the owner, the manager of all the lands. Forever, the lands are yours. Sure enough, this old Gentile went to France with his friends, and he passed away. And the Jew got news of it, that he passed away. This is like several months afterwards. And that he was buried. The Jew felt very bad. But on the other hand, he built the land up. And everybody realized that, of course, then he was the best friend of this old baron. And the baron was never married. He never married, and he didn't have any children. And it seems there were no brothers, no sisters, no anything, because he would have mentioned it. Nothing. And so the Jew took care of the land. 15 years, 20 years, everything was wonderful. And when he started, the Jew was still, was a young man. One day, he comes knocking on the door of the Jew's house and says, are you Mr. Groys? He said, yes. So I hear you've been running those lands all the time since the baron died. He said, that's right. He said, well, you owe me a lot of money. So what do you mean? So all this land belongs to me. It belongs to you? What do you mean? He says, I happen to be the nephew of the cousin of the uncle of the Bubbe from this previous baron. Here's my papers. There is no other relative. The land belongs to me. Get out, and I want back. He says, you want back money? He says, that's right. And the whole thing belongs to me. If you want to run away, you can run away. I'll find you some other. If not, I don't care. Look, all this land belongs to me. It's all mine. Now get out. So the poor Jew, what's he going to do? He's got his family, he's got this. And they have to move out, all of them. They bring wagons, they move them all out. He has to live like on like an old shack or something on the edge of the lands. So he doesn't know what to do. So he goes to the Baal Shem Tov. And the Baal Shem Tov tells him the whole story. This is a story I'm telling you now. This is the story that the Rebbe of Ruzhin is telling this man. So he goes to the Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov says, heart problems. How long has he been dead? He's been dead 15 years. 15 years. He says, okay, you'll find him. Go to Prague. Go to Prague. Walk the streets of Prague and you'll find him. No, I said, he says, walk the streets of Prague and you'll find the answer. You'll find the solution. Not you'll find him. You'll find the solution. So he figures he'll go to Prague. Maybe, who knows, maybe the man did write a deed and somebody will give him the deed, who knows what, he'll find something. Anyway, so he goes to Prague. Prague is a huge city. Where is he going to go? He doesn't know where to go. But the Baal Shem Tov told him to go. So he went to Prague and he starts to walk and he walks and he walks and he walks and he walks. Walks the city, walks in the daytime, walks in the night. He's walking around, He's walking for a week, walking for 2 weeks. He's just about to give up. He doesn't know what to do. All of a sudden, there's this tremendous, one day he's walking in the streets, he's tired, tremendous rainstorm. The rain comes down, just torrents and torrents of rain. And everyone's running to look for a place to get, some sort of shelter from the rain. And he runs like there's this entrance of this big hotel. There's an overhang over the... And he runs into this overhang, underneath the overhang, and there's maybe 40, 50 people all crowded underneath there against the rain. And he's thinking about his miserable luck, what's going to be? He lost all this land, he lost everything he's got. And by accident, he steps on somebody's foot that's behind him. And the person says, ow, he turns around and says, oh, excuse me, sir, I didn't mean, and who is it? It's the old Baron that had died 15 years ago. And he said, Baron, are you still alive? I said, well, not exactly. I said, well, it's good to see you, I said, well, it's good to see you also. I said, I hear you're having a little bit of trouble about the deed. He said, yeah, the fact I am. I said, well, I'm sorry I didn't write you the deed. I said, come into the hotel. And go into the hotel. He orders at the counter, give me a piece of expensive paper, a pen. They sit down, he writes a whole deed, puts the date on it 15 years ago, signs his name on it, blots all the thing, and he folds it over, and he gives it to him, and he said, here you go, take this back and it'll be okay. And he walks outside into the rain, and that's it, never seen again. The Jew goes back home, they come, takes the whatever's the relative to court, and he shows them the paper. He says, here it is, this is signed, this is the signature, you can compare it to any other signature. These guys here, he sealed, he put it with the seal, this is a seal, this is it was waiting for me, and so he got the land back. Said the Rebbe Ruzhin, if the Baal Shem Tov could bring back somebody from the dead that's already been dead for 15 years, as I thought to myself, I'm a pupil of his, I can surely bring somebody back from the dead that's only been dead for a week. And that's how I knew I could bring this person back to life. Have a good day, everyone. 3 o'clock, we're learning Chumash.
Tada Rabba, good story.
Ciao.